Hi everyone, in today's video we'll cover useCallback hook, which is many people don't really actually know when to use it and think it's hard to implement it. So in this video you will have a better idea of useCallback, and in the end I will compare useCallback with useMemoHook. And before we start our video, if you want to have a good deep understanding in React and become better React developer, I highly recommend subscribe to my channel. Don't want to miss our new videos. So in our example here we have a state called toggle, and we have this function that is going to toggle our state, and we have a fetch API function. Since I wanna make this example as simple as possible for beginners to understand, all this does is gonna return to us some sort of value. You can imagine we are fetching an API, and then we are going to return that data that we get from that API, and this data is gonna be displayed when we call our function. And we also have a use effect, and this use effect is gonna print in our console a message when our function changes, means that when our function return another new data. So now when I refresh my page and open my console, you can see that the message from useEffect was called because it's a first render. But when I go to this button and toggle our state, you can see we got this message called 4 times. But you're probably wondering why, because the data didn't really change. So nothing really changed. And the reason for that, despite it is a function, and a function in React is recreated and every time there is a state changes. So what we really want to do over here is we only want to tell React that we only wanted to recreate this function whenever there is some sort of change in our data. So React introduced a useCallback hook to solve this issue. So the first thing we need to do is we need to import it from React, and then to use it you just want to wrap this entire function that we created inside of it. And just like useEffect and useMemo, we need to tell React when we want to recreate this function. And so you needed to make a dependency, but in our example here we are gonna leave it just like that, an empty dependency. In real projects you may have a key of an API that changes, so you may want to put it in your dependency. So if I reload my page again and click this button, you can see nothing has happened, because I told React to, by using useCallback hook, to only create this function once. So no matter how many times I click on this button, callback hook is gonna cache this function and is going to recreate it, create it only once, because we put only an empty dependency. So many people, including me in the beginning, found that useCallback hook, it looks similar to useMemoHook. And the major difference between useCallback and useMemo, with useMemoHook you store the value, memorize it from a function. So a function that returns some sort of value, you can memorize it, that value, into a variable, which is not this case. It is the case that we did with useMemo video. However, with useCallback you don't store the value that is returned from the function. You actually store the memorized function in itself. So if you guys like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.